Level 1. Hang around. At 19, the title of hang around sounds like a unique chance to touch the elite of the criminal world. But in reality, you are just free labor whose lungs are clogged around the clock with the acrid smoke of cheap cigarettes, alcohol breath, and gasoline fumes in the dark garage of the clubhouse. You scrub other people's motorcycles for hours until your fingers start to bleed from aggressive chemicals. You clean toilets clogged with vomit after the full parties of full patch members, and you run for drinks at the first dismissive snap of fingers. Your only equipment is a dirty rag, a bucket of soapy water, and your own sticky animal fear. You don't have a cent to your name. You live on the measly handouts of older comrades, while heavy Harleys worth $40,000 each blind you with their chrome. Every Friday night you stand watch for hours at the massive iron gates of the base under pouring rain, shivering violently from the cold. You have exactly 3 minutes. The ticking of the clock echoes in your temples. If cop flashers or rival club bikes appear on the horizon, you have exactly 180 seconds to press the hidden alarm button and let the seniors hide illegal guns and drugs. You frantically grab the radio, your palms sweat treacherously. An error at this basic stage costs you more than just a shameful expulsion. You will be silently beaten with heavy boots in a dark alley, left a cripple for the rest of your life. You silently endure endless humiliations, swallowing insults and physical pain in the naive hope that one day these great brothers will notice your dog-like loyalty. Level 2. Prospect. At 22, you become a prospect, an official candidate for club membership, receiving the bottom rocker with the state name on your leather vest, and with it, the weight of a giant invisible target on your back. The heavy smell of old leather, soaked in your own fear, sweat, and road dust, mixes with the unbearable heat of the red-hot engine, burning your calves to blisters during multi-hour rides at the very end of the dusty column. Your daily routine consists of the unquestioning performance of the dirtiest and most deadly work, which full members squeamishly refuse. You do not sleep for days, transporting tightly taped packages of cocaine in the saddlebags of your old, rattling bike, acting as a human shield in bloody bar brawls and taking knife wounds from street gangs while defending the club's colors. You are the absolute disenfranchised property of the syndicate. Any full patch can take your motorcycle at any moment, force you to take his criminal sentence, or send you to certain death for fun. At the evening meeting, they clap you on the shoulder as a friend, pour you expensive whiskey, and tell you with a smile that the official vote for your full colors will take place tomorrow. You exhale with great relief and smile sincerely, but in the next second, they roughly shove a heavy revolver with filed-off serial numbers into your hands. You are sent for a hard talk with competitors from a rival club who have entered your territory. You have exactly 1 hour to carry out the order. You squeeze the cold steel in your jacket pocket until your knuckles turn white. Time is running out. If you mess up, show the slightest drop of cowardice, or pull the trigger too late, you won't just lose the chance to wear the coveted patch of the fat man with a machete, you will vanish without a trace in the vast desert of New Mexico, leaving behind only a burnt-out motorcycle on the side of the road. Level 3 patch member. At 26, you are a full patch member, a soldier on the front line, and the fat Mexican proudly adorns your back, a sign of unconditional belonging to the Bandidos MC elite. The taste of dry road dust on grueling forced marches is sharply replaced by the metallic taste of someone else's blood, burnt gunpowder, and adrenaline during brutal club wars and the forceful seizure of new, profitable territories. Your life turns into a constant psychologically draining balance between the dull, maddening boredom of guarding methamphetamine distribution points and the momentary, absolutely uncontrollable chaos of ultraviolence in street showdowns. You cold-bloodedly collect gambling debts, regularly collect tribute from local dealers, strictly racketeer prostitution, and control the streets of your city with an iron hand, instilling animal terror in ordinary citizens. Your personal income grows rapidly, you buy a matte black road glide for $30,000 and wear massive gold. But the true price of this prosperous life is a paralyzing fear and constant, nervous glances over your shoulder. Harsh federal RICO laws breathe down your neck, where every oversight is instantly multiplied by 10. One wrongly spoken word over an open cellular connection, one package transfer to an undercover federal agent, and you will go to a maximum security federal prison forever without the slightest right to parole. You haven't felt any remorse for a long time. You calmly break a sobbing debtor's fingers with a heavy pipe wrench. You slowly drink a cold beer right in his kitchen while his wife screams in animal terror in the next room. You notice an inconspicuous gray van that has been parked near your house for 3 days in a row. You irritably write it off as chronic fatigue and paranoia, not even suspecting that inside FBI wiretap servers are buzzing right now, meticulously collecting ironclad material for your future life sentence. You have proven your absolute ruthlessness, and now the club has entrusted you with the most terrible and destructive weapon, the right to punish your own brothers with impunity. Level 4. Sergeant. You are 32, and now you are the Sergeant-at-Arms, the permanent executioner and head of security, a man whose silent appearance in the doorway makes even the most authoritative and bold members of the chapter fall silent instantly. The sensory backdrop of your daily life is the sharp, pungent smell of high-quality gun oil, the burning cold of the metal of a screwed-on silencer in your palm, and the sterile, ringing silence of soundproofed basements where matters of internal discipline are decided without unnecessary witnesses. Your direct round-the-clock duty is ensuring the absolute physical safety of the president and detailed, cold tactical planning of deadly combat operations against competing clubs on maps spread across the city. You are personally responsible for the entire hidden club arsenal, hiding unregistered Glocks, illegal Kalashnikov rifles, modified pump-action shotguns, and kilograms of military-grade plastic explosives worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in caches, risking prison for domestic terrorism every second during any accidental search. The pressure on your already shattered psyche reaches a critical mass, as it is you who must identify police rats and hidden traitors within your own ranks. The price of your slightest tactical error is a morning police raid on the clubhouse involving heavily armed SWAT teams or the senseless death of dozens of your brothers in a carefully planned street ambush. Without the slightest tremor in your hands, you personally carve out club tattoos from the skin of those the club has expelled in disgrace using a red-hot hunting knife. Yesterday evening, you were sincerely laughing, hugging, and drinking unfiltered beer with this guy at his own wedding, making toasts to brotherhood. Today, the president ordered you in a cold tone to solve the problem forever, because the lawyers found out this guy turned out to be a paid ATF informant. You silently enter his dimly lit garage, tightly locking the heavy door behind you. He turns around with a joyful smile at the sound of your familiar footsteps. Level 5, Chapter President. At 40, you take the chapter president's chair with much blood, and your once vast world instantly shrinks to the four walls of a well-fortified office, permeated through and through with the smell of expensive Cuban tobacco, elite aged bourbon, and someone else's tangible fear. You no longer go to nightly criminal standoffs with a baseball bat in hand. Your exhausting gray routine consists of endless hours of meetings with the state's most expensive lawyers and the masterful laundering of dirty millions through a network of shell strip clubs and legal auto repair shops. Every day, you weave a complex, dangerous web of political alliances with ruthless Mexican cartels and brutal street gangs, balancing every second on the thin edge of a large-scale urban war. In your hands, trembling from tension, are the fates of dozens of fanatically loyal soldiers ready to kill and die at your first word, and the club's black box of cash, while your official, legal salary is the modest income of a petty owner of a rundown tattoo parlor. But this limitless local power actually turns out to be a powerful, slowly killing poison. You completely stop sleeping at night. Total, all-consuming paranoia slowly but surely eats your mind from the inside, because you know for certain, every sergeant, every loyal officer at this oak table dreams of driving a long knife into your back and triumphantly taking your place at the head of the table. Political pressure from the club's national leadership is absolutely ruthless. They demand increasing percentages of monetary contributions every month in an ultimatum format, while federal prosecutors dig the earth with excavators, assembling a grand jury to lock you in a concrete cage for the rest of your days. Without the slightest hesitation, you send young prospects full of blind enthusiasm to certain senseless deaths under the bullets of competitors solely for the sake of protecting your personal shadow financial interests. You cynically cover your limitless greed with high, rehearsed slogans about unbreakable brotherhood and the bloody motto, "Expect no mercy," fully realizing deep in your soul that you built your rotten little empire on total lies and the broken bones of those who unconditionally believed in you. Level 6 El Presidente. At 55, you finally reach the absolute peak. You are El Presidente, the national president, the untouchable, godlike monarch of a colossal criminal empire whose invisible tentacles have tightly entangled entire continents. For days on end, you sit in the absolute terrifying silence of your luxury mansion, which in its level of engineering protection and wall thickness resembles a military command bunker more than a home, listening only to the monotonous, soothing hum of powerful air conditioning systems, and for hours not taking your reddened eyes off the endless mosaic of surveillance camera screens. Your hands have been clean of others' blood for a very long time. All dirty, deadly orders are transmitted exclusively through a complex multi-level encryption system and a long chain of one-time couriers. In your huge, gleaming garage, rare collection cars and custom-made choppers worth hundreds of thousands of dollars sit lonely and dusty. Vehicles you haven't driven out of the armored gates for years due to paranoiac security considerations. You now think exclusively on the scale of an army general. You dryly coordinate international port shipments of heavy weaponry, control the complex logistics of transiting tons of drugs, and emotionlessly decide the fates of entire chapters in other countries with one unnoticeable slight nod of the head. Light nod. The price of your slightest strategic or political error is an immediate, full-scale, global biker war of total annihilation that will drench the streets of dozens of major cities around the world in hot blood and guaranteed to provoke a coordinated, destructive attack by the FBI, NSA, and Interpol on the club's entire long-standing structure. You heavily rise from your expensive leather chair, slowly walk to the bulletproof panoramic window, staring intently into the impenetrable night darkness, and suddenly realize with frightening, paralyzing clarity that you are absolutely, totally, and hopelessly alone in this world. In the dim reflection of the multi-layered glass, you desperately try to see the face of that frightened but hopeful 19-year-old boy who once came to a dirty, oil-smelling garage for imaginary freedom, strong male friendship, and the romance of the endless road. That naive boy has been dead for a very long time, ruthlessly crushed and ground into dust by the heavy steel gears of the soulless criminal system that you now single-handedly lead. You have paid in full for this absolute power with your own soul, gaining command of the entire criminal world, but forever turning into the very same cruel, cold-blooded, and unscrupulous monster from whom you once desperately tried to escape on your first second-hand motorcycle bought with your last money. Subscribe to the channel before this information finally falls under the government top secret classification.